Hello, everybody. This is Danny Brown. We have been studying today. I hope that you have already finished the first video. Video 1 was a video about high school subcultures. And also today, you need to do the assignment, which is Best High School Rules. I believe it's day 7, Best High School Rules. And you need to read that and you need to answer those questions. And now today I'm going to begin another unit, a unit on religion. The American church is, America's only a little over 200 years old, but the American church has had an amazing influence on the world, truly globalized religion in many ways. About 10, 15 years ago, it was said that 95% of all Christian missionaries in the world came from America. America has sent out Christian teaching throughout the world and just continued. Okay, we're going to talk about that, but first let's look at some vocabulary for religion. Okay, here is a paper. You can see here it's called Day 7, Vocabulary Creation in Religion. This is a great debate that's going across the globe. It's true. And let's talk about this. I'm going to give you a view that you may have never seen before. It may shock you. All right, let's learn some vocabulary here. Create. Create. Sozo suru. God created the world. The heavens, 10. You can't touch the heavens. Sometimes it's just heaven. Heaven is tengoku. Jesus can take you to heaven. 3 heavens. Now, in ancient Christianity, there were 3 heavens, and we still hold to that. Sora, Uchu, Tengoku. So the first heaven is the sky, all right, just the clouds and the immediate sky. The second heaven are the stars and space. And then the third heaven is where God lives. So that we call those 3 heavens. All right. Now we have formless. Katachinaku. Okay, there's no shape. That picture looks kind of formless. I don't know what it is. Empty, shinku, excuse me, and munashi. This room is empty. There is no furniture. Surface is men. So the chi men would be the surface of the earth. Lo men would be the surface of the street. The deep, that's a strange word. His ship sank and he floated in the deep for a week. The deep can be 2 things. It can be the sea, because it's so deep and dark and we don't know what's down there, so we just call it the deep. And then also space is so big and broad and black and we don't know what's out there, so we call space the deep. Okay, that's the deep. All right, keep studying, keep studying. Hover, we're going to have a test over this next week. Test. Hover. Chu Niuku, did I say that right? My car can hover, can move over the water. My hover car can move over water and land. So hover is like to float. To hover, okay? To float. All right. Now we have darkness. Yami is darkness. And spirit. Spirit is lei. A ghost is a spirit. God is a spirit. Okay, my body is not a spirit, but Christians believe that inside my body is Danny's spirit. Spiritual. Leitekina. It means related to the spirit, especially related to God. The Bible gives us spiritual food. The Bible gives us teaching about God. Physical, anything, katai mono, anything you can touch is physical. Water, air. Things like love and joy are not physical. Insect is mushy. I think most of you know that. Truth is shinli. I think most of you know that. Energy is energy. Now, emotional might be new for some of you. Kanjoteki, emotional. John has problem with his emotions. He gets too angry. John is emotional. Natural laws. Shizen hosoku. Natural laws include gravity and other laws of physics. Expanse, Aida. Now, expanse, when what we're going to talk about means like space and a large distance, big space, okay? That's what an expanse is, okay? Here we have to own. That's easy. Ownership means owning. We're going to talk about God owns the world. Belong to God. Kamisama no mono desu. Evolution, shinka. Many of you have been taught evolution. I'm going to challenge that. You're going to think I'm crazy, but please listen when I teach. Be similar, niteru. Chaos, chaos. Chaos means there's no order, no control, no plan. Everything is just like crazy without any reason or any plan, okay? Chaos. If you come into a room and kids are crazy running everywhere, you say, oh, it's chaotic, because it's just no order, no discipline, no control, no plan. Okay. Look up chaotic if you have trouble with that. Order is satsujo. Satsujo. We want order. I want my bed to be neat. I want the dishes washed. I want the shirts clean in the closet. I want everything set correctly the way I want it to be. That is Danny's order. DNA. Oh, I've forgotten how to say that. Okay, it's deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Let's see if I can write that for you. Here we go. And let's try that. There you go. There's DNA. Can you see that? Deoxyribonucleic acid. DNA is what controls the shape and growth of our body, the content of our body and mind. It comes from our parents. Sometimes we use the word genes. Okay, your father has DNA, your mother has DNA, those two DNA go together, and then you're born with their DNA. By accident, guzen ni. Now I put guzen ni. Sometimes Japanese use the word machigaete. Okay, by accident. Fossil, kaseki, is a fossil. Where is the fossil? There's a fossil of a fish. A fossil is an old bone. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, that's a fossil. It's an old animal that died, and then the rocks formed around the animal, and then the animal's body eventually became rocks, and we have the shape of the animal. That is a fossil. All right, let's go back now. We have savior, Sukui-nishi. That's someone who saves you, a hero who helps you and saves you. Lisa, we sometimes say this about people. Lisa was my savior. She saved me when I could not swim. Okay, there you go. That is our vocabulary, and you need that. You need to study that and be ready for a vocabulary test next week. All right. All right, we're going to begin our unit on religion. Now, we can't do very much today because you've already done you already have your best high school, which must be done in class today. You also have your high school subcultures video, which you've already watched before this one. And so we're only going to cover a part of religion today, and we'll finish the rest next week. Okay, you can see behind me is a picture of a church. This is a standard church, kind of church I grew up in. And the church is a Christian religion. Christianity is the biggest religion in the world at this time. And we're going to talk about Christianity in America so that you'll understand it a little bit better. Now, there are big cultural differences between the Western United States and Europe and Asia. And part of that is our religion, not all of it, but part of it is our religious differences. Here we have in the Western, they have a focus on independence of each person. In Asia, there's more focus on dependence. Now, of course, in the West, we have dependence. We depend on people, and we all need each other. And in Asia, of course, there are people who have independence. So it's not a matter of West is all independent and Asia is all dependent, but it's a focus, a tendency in our culture. Also, the West has guilt and Asia has shame. Now, guilt means that if you do something bad, you are a bad person, not because other people think so, but you just have bad in you, okay? And that is guilt. You did it, you did something bad. If people know or if they don't know, you still did something bad. Now in Asia, the focus is on shame. Shame is more related to people and what people think. If people don't know you did something bad, well, it's still bad, but you don't feel so bad. Shame is more of a focus on Asia. And in Japan, parents will sometimes tell their children, don't do that. People are looking, okay? And they teach the children, feel shame. People will look. Don't. People are looking. And shame, haji is shame, is a focus in Asia. In America, it's guilt. It's what do you think is right? And if you do what you shouldn't do, then you are guilty in your heart, even if people know or don't. Those are big differences. Now, one reason for the independence and the dependence is this. Let me show you. Christian and Greek thinking, Christian thinking and Greek thinking have really encouraged independence, and Christian thinking has really encouraged this guilt idea, but they're very related to the idea of independence. Okay, let me make this white here. Now, in the West, we have the Greek. Okay, I wrote Christian thinking here, just a minute here. Okay, here it is. Sorry, I thought I had put the recording on pause and I didn't, and you were sitting there watching me, and I'm very sorry. Let me go back. Okay, so here we have the Greek thought. The Greek thought is logic and truth. The Greeks always wanted to think of logic. They wanted truth, and they were searching for that. It was very important to them. And this kind of caused a type of independence, because even if other people disagree with you, if you have logic, your ideas are correct, so you can pull away from people. Christian teaching also taught truth. Of course, there's logic in Christianity, but truth comes from God. Christians believe that God shows us truth, with or without logic. Well, everyone uses logic, but the truth is revealed from God. And so what we have is the truth and the logic. And these are very important. They cause us to move away from people, not to move away from people, but we have to focus on God, and we have to focus on truth, and not just think about what others want. Now that causes us to have our own thinking. We can think about what others want, and we can say, what do you think? Give me your ideas. And then we have to step back emotionally and say, now I'm going to decide what is best. And especially for the Christian, we focus on God. God, what do you want? What is your plan? What are your laws? And this causes us to be able to separate ourselves from other people more easily than Asians. We're supposed to look for truth. We're supposed to look for God's plan. Even if people hate us, we have to want God first. And that causes a kind of independence. Now, not everybody is Christian, and not everybody cares about logic and education. But this is a focus in my culture, American culture, that has caused us to become much more independent than the Asians. Now, that focus on God and independence, it starts with God. All right? Just 1 minute here. All right, let's talk now about religion in America. Americans buy about 40 million Bibles every year. Now, a Bible in Japanese is seisho. It is the book that Americans use, not Americans, all Christians use, the teachings of God. The Bible sells more books than any book in America. Every year, for many, many years, the Bible has sold more than all the books of America. The Bible is the bestseller. 88% of Americans have a Bible in their homes. The Bible was written in Hebrew and Greek languages. There are 114 modern English translations of the Bible, translated between 1800 and 2018. Now, see, the Bible was written in Hebrew and Greek languages, so we have to translate it into English. And it's so popular that 114 times people have tried to get a better translation in English. Okay, the translations are of two types. One is a true translation, and one is a paraphrase. Now, the translations are very accurate. They want to show every word is correct. The paraphrase are not so accurate, but they want to sound modern, like modern language, so people feel comfortable. Here are some translations. The New International Version. There's the 1984 edition, which I really like. There's the 2011 edition of New International Version, which I really don't like. They have become so modern that they're beginning to change the teachings of the Bible in their translation. The King James is 1611 AD. Wow, that's over 400 years ago that this Bible was translated, but it's still a very popular version in English. Let me give you some examples. Okay, here we go. Okay, in Japanese, in Matthew 14:27, my Japanese is very terrible. It says, しかし、イエスはすぐに彼らに話しかけ、しっかりしなさい。私だ。恐れことはない。と言われた。 Now that is Japanese. In the English, in the modern version, it says, but Jesus immediately said to them, take courage, it is I. Do not be afraid. Okay, that's Jesus. King James Version, but straightway means immediately. Jesus spake. Spake is Old English. Modern English is spoke unto them, saying, be of good cheer. Be of good cheer means take courage. It is I, be not afraid. This is very old grammar. We understand it, but we don't speak this way. And these are two examples of translations. This is very, very old language, very old. Now, let me add to that a paraphrase. A paraphrase is not a careful translation. It tries to make it sound relaxed and very modern. The New Living Translation is an example. But Jesus spoke to them at once. It's all right, he said, I'm here. Don't be afraid. Okay, so in the original Greek, Jesus said, it is I. It is I. But they changed the original to make it sound very, very modern. I'm here. Okay. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. That didn't change. All right. This paraphrase is very modern. Now, here's another example. Anata no mikotoba wa watashi no moto no tomoshibi. Oh, sorry about that. Tomoshibi, watashi no michi no hikari desu. Okay. New International Version, 1984. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light for my path. King James, thy word. Now the word thy means your. That's Old English, thy, your. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. All right, that's the two translations. Now, the modern paraphrase, your words are a flashlight to my path ahead of me and keeps me from stumbling. Stumble is korobu, okay? Korobanayo ni. Now, this is a lamp. This word lamp is the original Greek, okay? But the modern use the word flashlight, okay? Is that strange? Because they want to really sound modern, but it's hard to think that 2,000 years ago, people would say flashlight. All right, there are many Christian bookstores, but I have to say that they're very, very popular. They're closing down. Why? Because Amazon. Everyone can buy Christian books in Amazon. So these are leaving and there are very few left, but these used to be filled America. America was filled with Christian bookstores that sold nothing but Bibles and books about Christianity. Beautiful. In the last 10 years or so, most Christian bookstores have closed because most people buy books on the internet. So Christian books are also bought on the internet. Boy, life is changing, isn't it? Because of the internet. Now, America has long been called a Christian nation. However, now America is called a post-Christian nation, which means it is not mostly Christian. Here are statistics. Statistics means the numbers. In a 2005 study, 1,000 Americans were asked, what is your religion? 83% said, I'm Christian. 13% said, no religion. 4% said, I'm Jewish or Muslim or Buddhist. Now, these 83% said they're Christian, but many of them don't really even know Christianity. They just feel some belief that they should be Christian, okay? Probably most Christians estimate that about a third, 33% of America is actually Christian, but that's difficult to say. Now, 37% of Americans say they go to church every week. Is that true? Well, research shows that people don't attend church as often as they say. However, there's a deep respect for God. People feel that they need God. Let me go back. I went to church when I was a child. Sunday morning, I went to church. Sunday evening, I went to church. Wednesday evening, again, I went to church 3 times every single week. And so many Americans do that. All right, people still feel that they need God, even if they don't go to church. This is from the news. This is an actual picture. Senators are praying together after a terrorist attack on the baseball field on June 14th. There was an attack. What did the senators are very high level political people. What did they do? They all got together and said, guys, let's pray. So God is still very important in the minds of Americans. There they are. So what is your religion? American Answers. These are the answers that they give. 83% religion. Now, we're going to talk about this Christian religion. We have 53% of Americans are Protestant. Japanese say protestanto. Excuse me, protestanto. And Catholic in Japanese is katoliku. And 5.4% are other Christian groups. 1.6% are Mormons. That most Christians believe that Mormons are not really Christian, and so they're put separate. 1% are Jehovah's Witnesses. Most Christians believe Jehovah's Witnesses are not Christians. The Mormons and Jehovah's Witnesses have a very, very different type of teaching. Now we're going to stop right here, and I'm going to continue teaching. Next week, I'm going to teach the difference between Catholic Christianity and Protestant Christianity. Some of you have never heard of those. Others, you know those, but you don't know the difference. And so I'm going to be teaching that next week. But we're going to stop now because we have so much to do. So I want you to be sure before class is over today, I think class is over at 4:50, is that right? Before class is over, you do the best high school rules, and you send those to me by Google Mail today, okay? Be sure and do those and send those to me. All right, we're finished for today. God bless you. Have a really nice week, everyone. Bye-bye.